Dabu 7. Looks like the U.S. Coast Guard has declared part of New York City's East River a safety zone. They're saying that an unknown amount of oil spewed from this Con Edison substation into the waterway there, and there's a massive cleanup underway. They're saying this Con Edison put out a statement that says that a transformer containing roughly 37,000 gallons of oil, okay, so there's an amount right there, had malfunctioned, releasing much of the oil into the station property at the river, which the flow of the current just takes it all right downstream. They're saying that this was a catastrophic failure that caused a transformer to leak dielectric fluid. This is a mineral used for cooling down electronic equipment, and that this all seeped into the waterway. So, big oil spill in the East River. Just wanted to make note of it. How much do you think they're actually going to get cleaned up with the current and the water flowing? I mean, as soon as this stuff gets out there, pretty much can take off. It's just a big mess there in the area. Wanted to make note of it. I'll leave a link and I'll update if I come across more on it. It's been Dabu 7. Peace.
Hundreds of workers at a nuclear waste site in Washington state have been ordered to, quote, take cover after a tunnel used to store radioactive material collapsed. I spoke to RT's Alexei Yarshevsky on this a little earlier.
Well, the emergency mode has not been lifted yet, as far as we know, but the incident in question happened at 8 o'clock in the morning local time when part of the tunnel collapsed, the roof of the tunnel collapsed. That's the tunnel where radioactive material is being transported, and even the Hanford website admits that the building which is adjoining this tunnel has been vacant for 20 years, but highly contaminated, highly radioactive materials are still kept and transported through that tunnel. Now, the main reason, possible reason for the collapse is vibrations produced by a road work just close by, in close proximity to the tunnel. And we also understand that for now, the Department of Energy believes that nothing serious has happened despite a massive evacuation of workers.
There is no indication of a release of contamination at this point. Responders are getting closer to the area where the soil has subsided for further visual inspection.
Now, Hanford nuclear waste site in the state of Washington is called America's most toxic place for good reasons. Now, this was the place where the nuclear material for nuclear bombs, such as Fat Man, which was dropped on Japan, was produced, but it has been out of operation since 1980. Nonetheless, 53 million gallons of radioactive waste are still stored there, and this is basically one of the biggest nuclear waste facilities, not only in North America, but in the world. The cleanup of Hanford facility began in 1989, but ever since it's been a problem. Last year, we uncovered a lot of safety concerns at the facility, with numerous workers hospitalized because of inhaling radioactive fumes leaking from the 60-year-old shells which contain those radioactive materials.
I got vapor exposure. I lost 40% of my lung capacity. They diagnosed it as RAS, Reactive Airways Disease Syndrome.
I can't do any normal activities, so right now I'm on my disability insurance. I had a hard time walking, more than even across the room. I was running out of breath. For a couple months, I pretty much sat in my chair over there, and I laid in my bed and I thought I was dying. And despite the assurances by the authorities that everything seems okay at the moment, there are numerous tweets coming from the Tri-Cities area next to Hanford nuclear facilities where people are genuinely concerned about what's happening there. But I assume we'll get more updates from the ground as the story progresses.
It's a passenger revolt as total chaos erupts at the airport. Police were called in to sort out turbulent scenes involving furious passengers at the Spirit Airlines terminal in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Here's that ugly moment from another angle. This passenger was taken away in handcuffs as things around him got heated.
This woman was hustled away by officers. Another passenger was pinned to the ground by 3 cops. The trouble exploded after Spirit canceled 9 flights, including one to LaGuardia.
Somebody was like slamming their hand down on the counter and the police came.
Very angry people. Everybody had places to be and couldn't be there.
Check out this crazy scene. After order was restored, deputies line up behind the check-in counters just in case. Spirit is blaming a work slowdown by its pilots union for the flight cancellations. We are shocked and saddened to see the videos, the airline says. This is a result of unlawful labor activity by some Spirit pilots designed to disrupt Spirit operations for our customers. But the Pilots Association says its members are not engaged in a job action. It's just the latest craziness involving airline personnel and passengers. Only now, the tension has come to the terminal.
Getting ready for work. A meticulous process that involves shaving, glitter, hairspray, and a wig. But instead of performing in a nightclub,
hi, hello, and
the venue is the Brooklyn Public Library in Park Slope at 10 o'clock in the morning.
who wants to be a drag queen when they grow up?
Little Miss Hot Mess,
Who is ready for a story?
is the host of Drag Queen Story Hour.
This one is called Worm Loves Worm.
Talking, singing, and reading
We can both be grooms.
to an audience of preschoolers, toddlers, and their caregivers.
The hips on the drag queen go swish, 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 swish.
The library started scheduling Drag Queen Story Hour last year
I'm a girl.
and is already looking to expand to other locations.
Drag Queen Story Hour is fantastic because it addresses all of these issues of gender fluidity and self-acceptance and all of these topics that are real, are very, very real.
And so is the backlash. Many negative comments have been posted online about the program. The AP has agreed not to use the drag queen's legal name because he said he feared harassment.
But those are people who think that gay people are sinful or evil or, you know, bad to begin with. So, you know, we're sort of just starting from such different places that it's kind of irrelevant to me.
The program, though, is a hit with the participants here.
It was great. So much energy. Did you like it? Yeah.
Parents say they welcome the diversity.
You know, that's what I'm looking for in all of our outings, is to present different ways of being in the world and make that fun and available to my kid.
A different take on story time.
Penelope wanted to dress kind of cool, but Tiny sort of wants her to dress kind of normal. Do you get it? Everyone thinks that this girl is a boy because she's a little bit of a tomboy.
Engaging young minds through sights and sounds.
Who wants blue?
Ted Shaffrey, Associated Press, New York.
The FBI arrests over 900 members of the dark web pedophile ring in the largest bust to date. What's up, everybody? Truth Seeker here. This article states, the FBI has arrested over 900 members of a dark web pedophile ring, the Sprawls, Europe, and America, following a 2-year investigation. In one of the largest busts of its kind, pedophile ring investigators from the FBI in Europe will apprehended the website founder, who was given a 30-year jail sentence. The dark web, also referred to as the deep web, contains content that cannot be accessed through a normal browser and cannot be indexed and searched via traditional search engines such as Google or Bing. Yet, according to researchers, a staggering 99.97% of what exists on the internet exists on the dark web, unseen by the public at large. According to the FBI, 350 of the 900 arrests were made in the U.S. alone, highlighting that a large portion of the world's pedophile networks operate and exist in America. The arrests come after President Trump vowed to tackle America's pedophile crisis, which he claims is organized from the highest echelons of government. RT.com reports the arrests and other law enforcement actions related to the investigation were carried out in countries far and near, including Turkey, Peru, Chile, Ukraine, Israel, and Malaysia, according to the FBI. Europe accounts for the major share of arrests and convictions, with 368 suspects being charged. A total of 870 arrests were made in connection with the case, according to Europol. Over 300 children who had suffered sexual abuse at the hands of Playpen members have been identified or rescued. EU Commissioner for the Secretary Union, Sir Julian King, said, "A hugely significant blow has been struck against one of the most heinous crimes, arguably the worst of all, thanks to the excellent transnational cooperation of Europol with the FBI and the U.S. Department of Justice, as well as other law enforcement agencies around the world." Playpen's founder, Stephen W. Chase, 58, was sentenced Monday to 30 years behind bars. The site he set up in August 2014 boasted some 150,000 users worldwide until it was taken down by the FBI following a controversial covert operation. The agency said it had uncovered the site almost immediately after it had been launched, but lacked information to trace the location or identity of the site's owners as it was rooted in the deep web, meaning the site was only accessible through special software such as Tor. Tor grants anonymity to its users and thereby is often described as a convenient platform for illicit activities such as selling weapons, drugs, or disseminating pornography. However, Florida-based Chase inadvertently slipped up, revealing his site's IP address, providing law enforcement with all the necessary leads. Two of Chase's aides, Michael Flugiger, I guess I said that right, and David Browning, both U.S. citizens who served as administrators of the website, were each jailed for 20 years.